Okay, today we are going to talk about modifiers, and most specifically, we're going to be talking about dangling and misplaced modifiers, both of which are common grammar mistakes that the ACT will test you on. They are going to test you on both dangling and misplaced, so make sure you pay attention here. Now, to start out, a modifier is a word or phrase that further describes or limits modifies a noun, which we all know is a person, place, or thing. So look at this example down here. We anxiously watch the weather report for information about the hurricane churning in the Atlantic Ocean. We have a modifier in that sentence. See if you can pick it out real fast. Look for a word or phrase that further describes a noun. Hopefully, you're able to identify churning in the Atlantic Ocean. That chunk of the sentence, that phrase there, is describing the hurricane. The hurricane is the noun, and churning in the Atlantic Ocean is the modifier. So what you are doing here with a modifier is you are adding an extra description to a noun. Now, it's important to point out that modifiers can be either words or phrases. They can be either one. In this video, we're primarily going to look at modifiers that are phrases, but keep in mind that an adjective is a modifier. So it's important that those modifiers go in the right place. Let's look at that more. Now here's the rule, the law. Modifiers must be next to the noun that they modify. Try to make them touch if possible. Modifiers that aren't next to their noun are called misplaced. Again, modifiers that aren't next to their noun are called misplaced modifiers. Now, modifiers that don't directly modify any noun in the sentence are called dangling. And one more time, modifiers that don't directly modify any noun in the sentence are called dangling modifiers. These definitions are important because misplaced and dangling modifiers are two separate things, and we want to talk about them in different ways. So make sure that you know that modifiers that aren't next to their noun are misplaced. Modifiers that don't have a noun in the sentence are dangling. Let's look at misplaced modifiers first. So we have this sentence. Raymond, unfortunately stained with yellow mustard, wore his one collared shirt to the job interview. Kind of weird, right? Poor Raymond is yellow all over, I guess. Here's where modifiers are so important to know, because our modifier is unfortunately stained with yellow mustard. That's the description. And what it should be describing is Raymond's shirt. The guy needs to get a better wardrobe, but he has one shirt that is stained with yellow mustard. Raymond isn't stained, but right now the way the sentence is set up, it makes it sound like Raymond, the guy, is what is stained with yellow mustard. What we really want to say is this. Raymond wore his one collared shirt, which was unfortunately stained with yellow mustard, to the job interview. Now, if we look at the correct sentence, we can see that what we've done is we've taken the modifier and put it directly next to what we want to modify, which is his shirt. Also, if you're paying attention, you'll probably notice that here, in this correct example, we have a situation of commas setting off non-essential information. That's a good review for a video you watched a couple weeks ago. But the key point here is that we've taken the modifier, which is our extra description, and we've placed it next to the noun that it is describing. Let's look at dangling modifiers. In this sentence, we have, having arrived late to class, a written excuse was required by the attendance office. Now, what do you think our dangling modifier might be here? Think about it for a second. There it is. Having arrived late to class. That is our dangling modifier. It's a description saying that someone or something arrived late, right? But where that star is, you can see that there should be a noun there, but there isn't. We have a description, but we don't know who was actually late to class. So that makes this a dangling modifier. It's different than a misplaced. Remember, a misplaced, the noun is still in the sentence. But in a dangling modifier, it's not there at all. In the misplaced modifier, the noun is there, it's just not touching its modifier. With the dangling, the noun doesn't even exist in the sentence. So how do we fix this? Having arrived late to class, the student required a written excuse for the attendance office. All we have to do is put a noun into that sentence. We have to clarify what is being described here. And obviously in this sentence, the person that was late was the student. So now we have having arrived late to class, the student required a written excuse for the attendance office. Now our modifier actually has a noun to describe. Let's recap. So first off, modifiers, which are descriptions or extra information, must be placed next to the nouns that they modify. Second, to fix a misplaced modifier, move it next to the noun that it modifies. And then third, to fix a dangling modifier, add the missing noun to the sentence. If you have more questions, let me know.